So, it's a well-known fact that Konami doesn't know what to do with Dark Magician. Every single time we get a new card, there's always a blaring issue with it. Always something ass backwards with it, or it has no synergy at all with the rest of the cards they gave us. I'm gonna fix all of our problems right now. Yeah, in this video series, I'll be fixing every single Dark Magician card we've ever gotten. I won't be making new cards, that'd make things too easy. Instead, I'll make it so that every card still does what it's supposed to do, just in a way that makes it accomplish its goal better. Let's get started. On today's episode of Yu-Gi Mons, we're going to focus on Magician of Black Chaos, and we're actually not going to add an effect to the main man himself. Dark Magician is all about the cards that support the main trio while they don't do much themselves, so we're going to stick to that. It's also pretty cool how the trio represents all of the main deck monster types in the most simplest form. Normal, effect, and ritual. Pendulums don't count. Get them out of here. So, since we're not touching the OG, let's get to the first card. Dark Magician of Chaos. This card's name is also treated as Magician of Black Chaos. Since it doesn't say always or specify where, this only works on the field, not in the deck or the graveyard. You can target one spell card in your graveyard or banish zone, add it to your hand. This effect of Dark Magician of Chaos can only be used once per duel. We can now choose when to grab the spell. It doesn't have to be at the end of the turn anymore. We can also get it from our banish zone, meaning we can grab Soul Servant. And because of that, I think it's fair that we can only use this effect once per duel. And let's be real here, we already only use this effect once per duel as it is anyway, so this is fine. If this face-up card or any monster that battles it would leave the field, banish it instead. This essentially works the same as it did before, no changes needed. This guy didn't get too much of a buff, but considering he now has interaction with our updated Eternal Soul and Circle, plus he can also get us a spell right away, I feel like he would work out pretty well as a tech choice, especially with the following cards. Dedication through Light and Darkness. Tribute Dark Magician of Chaos, or Magician of Black Chaos. Special summon any of the other above mentioned monsters from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions. If a ritual monster was tributed, you can special summon Magician of Black Chaos Max instead. This essentially lets you tag out the three boys with each other, letting you trigger other support cards like Dark Magical Circle. It also gives us another way to do the Chaos Max lockdown on the opponent since it's a quick play. All we gotta do is tribute Magician of Chaos or Black Chaos. Chaos Scepter Blast. If you control a level 8 or higher spellcaster, banish one card on the field face down. This part's the same. If this card in its owner spell and trap zone is destroyed by opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Magician of Black Chaos, Dark Magician of Chaos, or Magician of Black Chaos Max from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions. Here, I just updated it to include Chaos Max since he came out after this card did. If any of the above mentioned monsters are on your side of the field, your opponent cannot activate any cards or effects in response to this card's activation. I always felt like this additional effect should have always been here. It just makes sense. Now this card feels more complete, as the original always felt a bit off, even before Magician of Black Chaos Max came out. If we're gonna invest so much on bringing out one of these specific bricky monsters, the signature spell needs to be at least of this power level. Black Magic Ritual. This card can be used to ritual summon Magician of Black Chaos from your hand or deck by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 8 or more. I've added being able to ritual summon from the deck because rituals need a boost like that. If you control Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, no tribute is required. Good, yes, good. But we're still summoning a vanilla, so I feel like it needs one more thing! You can banish this card from your graveyard to activate Dark Magical Circle or Eternal Soul from your deck or graveyard. Now this is how you make a vanilla ritual monster worth playing. Adding Black Chaos to our triangle rotation is now worth it, as it's more of a bonus to the ritual spell helping set up our board without being too demanding with its summoning cost. Magician of Black Chaos Max. This card's name is also treated as Magician of Black Chaos. Once again, this is only while on the field. If this card is special summoned, your opponent cannot activate monster effects this turn. This effect can only be used once per duel. I made it so a tribute isn't required anymore, and also made it so that this effect is only once per duel. Again, realistically, we'd only use it once, and activating it more than once would be kinda broken since modern duels only last a couple of turns. Once per turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one spell in your graveyard added to your hand. This effect is the same, doesn't need any change. Although what I did change was his stat line. Black Chaos Max having the same stats as regular Black Chaos made no sense, so I gave him the stats of Sorcerer of Dark Magic. Speaking of, Sorcerer of Dark Magic. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. You can special summon this card from your hand by controlling two of the following monsters: Dark Magician Girl, or Magician of Black Chaos. Now we don't have to tribute, and this guy just became searchable. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can negate the effect of one card on the field and flip it face down. Face down cards your opponent controls cannot be activated or change their positions. Non-targeting Omni-Negate, and it acts as something like a sword of concealing light for monsters, spells, and traps.
But wait! There's more!
Once per turn, you can destroy one face down card on the field. This final effect rounds it all up. While it's still a brick of a card, it's at least searchable, doesn't require tributes, and has an effect that makes it worth using in some decks. It still hates trap cards like the original, but in a different way that also affects the other card types, since trap cards are by far the least used of the three.